Today is going to be another classic walk and talk video. So I'm going to walk through the city center of Hamburg rather aimlessly. There's some nice winter light today, which I'm trying to take advantage of, because these kind of days are very far and in between right now, so I'm going to make the most out of it. So what's special about these kinds of conditions, with the winter sun being very low on the horizon, so you get very long shadows. So as you can see here, that's certainly something you could use as a creative element for whatever you're trying to achieve. So yeah, I'm going to play around with that idea a little bit and then continue. So the long shadows turned out to be a little too complicated to deal with. Actually, I would have needed a wider angle lens, because they were actually so long. I had difficulties capturing them with my 50mm lens. But today I just want to talk about a little bit more how I approach street photography. I know I've talked in the past about having, certain triggers, like primarily bright colors. But there's a lot of talk online, about how you should take pictures with intent and develop your own projects and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of want to give my opinion on these topics. But before we get into the details, let's take a couple of pictures to get the day started properly. So I just found this scene here. As you can see, it's a nice pocket of light, lots of subjects passing through right in the middle of the shopping street here in Hamburg. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for something interesting to happen. So this is a scene I quite like. As you can see here, we've got a nice big patch of light in the foreground, and then in the midground we have the Christmas lights, the decorations that have been hung up, and in the actual background we've got the Hamburg Town Hall. So if I would capture something here, the picture will actually tell a nice story. It'll tell a story of the time because we've got the Christmas decorations up. It will tell the story of the place because we have the Hamburg Town Hall, which is very recognizable, obviously. And so all we need is something interesting happening here in the foreground. That's my plan anyway. So I'm gonna sit around this scene and just see what happens. So before I get any questions, today I'm shooting with the Sony A7R Mark V and the Voigtländer 50mm f1.2 Nokton lens. But let's get into the topics that I want to talk about today, which is my approach to street photography, or let's call it photography in general. I do quite enjoy, pick you guys up here. I do quite enjoy a very relaxed and slowed down approach to photography and most things in life. Because I'm of the opinion that if you try and force something, or if you are too hastily in what you're trying to doing, then there's not really anything good that's going to come out of it. So I'm trying to avoid some dog poo. So on a day like today, where I come out for street photography and I'm walking through the city center, I do kind of have my triggers that allow me to find or focus on things a little bit easier than in comparison to just looking for anything and everything. But other than that, my mind is completely blank in regards to what I want to shoot. And of course, this brings some negatives, but this also brings some positives. And I'll talk about the negatives in a short moment, but first, let me talk about the positives. The positives, and that's something I really enjoy, is I'm very quickly able to adapt to any kind of situation, right? So if I'm not, narrowed down on a certain approach, I can keep a nice and open mind to whatever is happening in front of me, and I will be very likely able to try new things and learn new things more often and more quickly. So that's something I do quite enjoy about this approach. So with that being said, I can already hear people in the comments saying, oh, bad advice, that's certainly not something you should do long term. But I think, especially for beginners who are just starting out, with their photography journey, street photography journey, it can be a little bit daunting to immediately follow the practices of people who have been shooting for years and years. And therefore, I quite like the approach to not give yourself this huge amount of pressure of you immediately need some kind of project that you are shooting for. You have to find a certain style. These are the two most, or the two biggest, I guess, things I can come up with. And it can take the fun out of photography a little bit if you can't immediately find any of these things. And then, just think, I'm just not good enough or whatever. And that's the camera back on the shelf, for the next couple of months, and then on eBay maybe a couple of months later. So this advice is therefore directed at people who have just started out, and are just trying out cameras, having fun with cameras. So don't get discouraged, don't take your photography or yourself too seriously. Just go out, have fun, and if you actually, go out so many times that you actually can see a style to emerge out of your photography, then, amazing, follow up on that, really double down on certain things you find out you like more than others. That's certainly something you should always do. But yeah, until you get there, just take it easy a little bit, you know? But regardless of your experience level, I'd love to hear what worked for you or what works for you right now in order to improve your photography, in order to make things easier for you when you get out. So yeah, put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Today was a good warm-up for the time to come, which will bring lots of boring and grey weather. So it was good that I got out after a couple of days to rekindle the street photography fire. And if you're interested in how I deal with grey and boring conditions in general, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll leave you with a couple of pictures from the day, and I hope to see you next time.